Hi, this is my October blog. Unlike previous months, this one's going to be a little early because I have some things to report with regard to the meetings that we've had, the Computer Society has had with the ACM. If you're not on top of what I'm talking about, in August, the issue of Computer Magazine and Communications of the ACM, the president of the ACM and I had a joint letter talking about the need for us to work together and to have cooperative activities, more cooperative activities. Last week, we met, the senior staff of the ACM and the senior staff of the Computer Society, and I and the president of the ACM met in New York to talk about things that we might work together more closely with and about in the future. We did put up a website, cooperation.computer.org, a number of months ago, soliciting members' input on their ideas and so forth of what we might do together. And that website, if you were to go there, you'll see there are dozens of posts and thousands of views of the posts that have been there. And I'd like to thank you for all the ideas that you've given us. In our letter that I mentioned that we published, there were so many things that we already do that it was impossible for us in that short space to mention all of them. And one that we were taken to task over for not mentioning, which we kind of assumed everybody knew, was our cooperative work with CSAB and ABET. Of course, it's foundational work that we do together with regard to computer science curriculum. So let me tell you, though, we took those posts that were on the website and we put them into something we call buckets. And the buckets gave us an agenda for our discussion last week in New York. And I'll just tell you what some of those buckets turned out to be. We wanted to be able to talk about how we could do more work together with our respective digital libraries. We talked about member discounts. Right now, if you're a member of one or the other of the societies, the ACM, you get a $5 discount, which is no big deal in 2011. We're talking perhaps about bigger member discounts. We talked about sharing other resources like our distinguished speaker lists with each other, etc. Now, let's get right down to the most popular one that was talked about that on the thread of discussion was, should we or should we not merge? And so let me say right out that while merging may be an interesting idea, probably a fun one to think a lot about, it's not something that we can just come up with in one meeting and say, yeah, let's do it. So the idea of merging and so forth, it evokes many, many complicated matters, and we didn't rule it out, but we're going to continue to talk about it as we move forward in the future. Now, with regard to some of these other buckets that I just mentioned, there will be some announcements coming out over the next period of time, the next few months, that will be very interesting, very useful, economically even, for members of both societies. So we are definitely exploring reduced member benefits, lower fees for joint members, easier access to the digital libraries for those that have subscriptions to both, etc. So I would characterize the meeting last week as being productive and interesting, and there will be much more that will come from those meetings. And all of this, we have in mind the benefit of the computing professionals that are members of both of our societies around the world. So watch my video blog. I will post more text in here. We will post more information together on cooperation.computer.org. As new things come out, as new announcements become available, we will find ways in which to publicize them so that everybody's aware of them as soon as we together agree on whatever these things are, particularly as it relates to the buckets. I will post what the buckets were that we talked about in this video blog. You probably have seen them already if you're watching this video. Anyway, this is my October blog, and I hope that next month even there'll be more that I can report on progress with regard to these matters.